Hello, beautiful, amazing, fantastic world, and you, beautiful, wonderful individual. Today I would like to speak about, well, more or less what I just introduced with. You, subjective, inner personal individual, the personal soul world, and the world, the objective spiritual world. We human beings are in between these two. We are within our own soul being, which we are constantly, well, either in balance with or otherwise every day. Then we have the outer, objective, physical nature world. So if we only perceive the outer nature world with only passive thoughts, with only passive without using active observation and thinking, it will be only a certain observation of results of physical materialism. That means it becomes cold and detached and, well, it becomes theories. And theories is, well, forces that detaches and, well, pushes away from us. The more we just speculate and are theorizing, the more doubt you pile up. That is just reality of it. Because we don't grab a hold of what anything is. We are lukewarm at best. On the other side, we have the super egotistical, the subjective soul world. There are two from both of these sides, from the personal soul or the subjective soul world to the objective nature world. There are two different temptations or beings that constantly are affecting us. And from our inner soul spiritual world, let's say if we are trying to chase a sensual, ecstatic mysticism, that is of a luciferic nature. Because it is hard to explain it, but when you are losing yourself in a sensual ecstasy, you are not exactly here and now anymore. You are not exactly on this earth development anymore. On the other hand, if you completely and utterly exclude yourself to be completely impersonal, you exclude yourself from the development in the other direction. But we are in the middle, between, well, the soft and the hard, between the personal and the objective. But the thing is, between these two, we are meant to bring the spiritual into this. We are meant to spiritualize these things so that it is not only normal daytime consciousness, passive thinking, feeling, and willing. You are actually active within your own being and active with intentions of purity. You know what I mean? Our intentions are clear. Our intentions are of a healing nature. If it is not, we quickly readjust ourselves because we are just as aware of ourselves as we are of the outer world. That is the balance. And to include yourself in this development and at the same time not, well, become narcissistic or super egotistical. That is the luciferic way. Or losing yourself in a group. That means when you are in a group of people, you lose your personality and become the group. That is the Ahrimanic. So the over-personal is the luciferic and the over-impersonal is the Ahrimanic. These two beings are very distinct and are affecting our will and the way we see the world. They want to drag our viewpoint of the world to their realm, in a sense. So it is two different abysses to fall into. And we are meant to steer in between those two. We are not meant to choose one or the other out of preference or out of what is easiest or what is fitting us the most. It is all about truly activating and holding in balance what is reality, the balance between these two extreme forces. That is the dissolving and the hardening. Without the dissolving and the hardening, the perfect equilibrium of these two, we wouldn't be able to have this clear daytime consciousness. This clear daytime consciousness you can be aware of here and now, sitting here observing the outer world, and at the same time be aware of your own inner thinking, feeling, and willing. That is the first step to first and become aware of this, be awake within your life. Then we can start to spiritualize and to truly finding the truth and filling this world and all we have around us with spirit and the divine hierarchy, the higher hierarchy. As I have said earlier, materialistic science is amazing when it comes to explaining and to measure and to, well, observe the outer physical, pure materialistic nature. It is very good at that. But to let that bleed into other areas of life when it is only meant to, well, observe and to study outer physical nature, that is when we fall into temptations. You see, we are meant to be spiritual and not to exclude certain things from. So if we use the science in this area, we are not meant to take that into another one. We are not meant to take objective materialistic science into spiritual science. We are meant to spiritualize materialistic science so that there are more than just randomness and billiard ball cause and effect here. There are will to all of this. There are movement to all of this. There are a design to all of this. And to tap into it and to truly, well, longing to know and to observe in its true nature and not believing that we can passively be given it in normal daytime consciousness and think that you can, in your laziness, understand all of this in passive thinking. You need active, conscious, clear thinking, not passive in the background that just goes by itself. We are meant to truly grab a hold onto what is ours, what is of our, well, faculties, and use them wisely and with love. The more love you can put into it, the more you are safeguarded against super egotism or complete impersonality, so that you lose your own inner opinion and values in a group. You see that there's a perfect balance in the middle there. Rudolf Steiner calls it between Scylla and Charybdis. And that is the truth. That perfect middle. And it is of utmost importance that we stick to, well, the love. The love is what? It is not sensual love. It is not selective love. It is not a love for family or for blood. It is a love and understanding, a wishing to understand another human being and feel them as part of yourself, both in wholeness and in individuality. That is also a balance. You have that balance in every area of life, truly. It is all about being able to practice and train this, because it takes training, practice. Like if you are, for example, trying to memorize, a prayer, or trying to memorize a letter that you do not wish to read down the letter. The more you read through it, after a certain while, it will be as natural to speak this as you would the Lord's Prayer. When you have done it many times enough, it becomes kind of part of you. It's the same with spiritual science and observing both soulfully, subjectively, and impersonal, objectively. And to try to penetrate behind the veil, behind what is objective nature, into the Ahrimanic. We have to combat them constantly, because they are constantly wishing you to see the world as they see it. It's the same on the other side. In our inner soul, everything is just me and egotistical. You get my drift? It is these two we should truly be aware and watch for. I personally love that it truly is a balance. The narrow path have always been a thing, but today it is most prevalent of any ages to that there are a duality in outer nature, as I said, the dissolving and the hardening. But as human beings, we are threefold within the spiritual world. Only the outer physical can be considered dualistic. We human beings have always been, we human beings are to unfold our threefoldness. That means freedom, the balance, as I said. We are that third balance that keeps the equilibrium, the fulcrum of the scale. And yeah, I think I will leave you with this. And may you be blessed, protected, guided, and loved by Father, Holy Spirit, Christ, Michael, the higher hierarchy, and our ancestors and the ancient masters of old. And may you find your individual path in this beautiful, beautiful world, so we can share what is truly loving, spiritual, beautiful, and warm, inclusive, and also individual and unique. It is fully possible to be both at the same time. That is the balance. And that is how you, well, safeguard yourself against the two abysses, the two extremes. Love you so much. Goodbye.